So let's start off with the NFC bracket. Mainly because I'm assuming that we both more or less have the same bracket on both sides. And
Yeah,
everybody can probably already predict who we got making the NFC Championship game. What at least one of them. So, all right, bro. Number 2 seed Cowboys versus the number 7 seed Packers. Go. Who do you
I
got?
got Dallas for sure. I think Dallas has the star power. They got the experience. Jordan Love has been playing great, but that defense is good. They're playing at home too, so I take Dallas for sure.
Who's your second wild card pick, bro?
I'm gonna take Detroit over the Rams.
Okay, okay.
Rams are playing hot, but I like Detroit just because I feel like they've had a big culture change. So I'm gonna take Detroit over the Rams. Jared Goff scares me a little bit, but I think with the team they got, they could do it for
All
sure.
right. All right. So you got Cowboys head up against the Packers. You got Detroit head up against the Rams. And then what about Bucks Eagles?
That one, I'm gonna take the Bucks. Eagles have been struggling, and we still don't know. I'm pretty sure on AJ Brown, on their players if they're fully healthy. I think they're just not really a healthy team right now. Jalen Hurts got injured, so he's gonna be dealing with that finger, right? So I take Tampa. Baker's been playing good. He's got a good squad. White's been playing great. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin is there. That defense, is getting older, but I think they're still good. So I took out Tampa.
All right. All right. All right. So you got the number 1 Niners versus the number 4 Tampa in the divisional round. Who you got?
Well, that's I mean, come on now, that's obvious. That's the Niners. I mean,
There you go. You go.
I
You
mean Brock, they're coming off of what, 2 weeks bye basically. Brock's gonna come back healthy.
older man.
George's gonna come back healthy. Trent's gonna come back healthy. All their players are gonna be healthy except for like Huff, right? But Eric is back. That's huge for the run. So
Jair Brown is coming back. That young man.
Jair Brown, Odom's coming back. We got a healthy team now, which is good. Biggest thing though is Eric because he helps us out in the run a lot. Ever since he's
Back
been
to
out, our
practice.
run has been struggling.
He came back to practice today, I think.
Yeah.
Big news.
Today's Thursday, by the way.
The
So,
only downside is Drake Jackson. I didn't realize how that he got hurt this season. Because I'll be honest,
bro, Jake Jackson let us down. No. You could say it's injuries.
really quick. His career starting off a bit reminds me a bit of Javon
Javon?
Law. Yep.
No.
You don't think so?
Javon had way more injuries. Drake Jackson had a potential to be, the starter this year. He got thrown in the mix. Had a great first game.
He'll be back next year. I
No,
thought,
no, no, no.
hey,
Had a great first game. How many sacks did he record for the season?
3. You got him
And
all.
what game did he get them all?
Yeah, I know. But it's
Yeah,
okay. It's okay. All right, moving on to the
that hurts.
Cowboys Detroit game. Who you got?
Uh, damn. I'm gonna take Dallas again, even though I hate it. But you know what? No. I'm gonna say Detroit. I'm gonna say Detroit. I
Ooh,
got Detroit just because
my boy.
I feel like they should have won the first one.
Right? Okay. Okay.
So I feel like, they got that passion, that aggression behind them if they see Dallas again, that, they're gonna take it to them this time, like, and they're gonna show that they should have won the first game. So I feel like Detroit is gonna come back hungry for that win. So then, yeah, I just don't, yeah, I don't see Dallas winning that one.
All right.
It'd
Let's
be a
go.
good game though. It'd be a good game for sure again.
It's gonna be a great game. What
Yeah.
about number 1 versus number 3? You got the Niners versus Detroit.
We own, I think, this division. So like I think Detroit is good, but Niners going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna say like, oh my gosh, this and that, because I don't want to jinx it.
Oh,
But
I
we're
know.
winning.
I don't care about no jinxing. We can't be jinxed this year. I believe we cannot be jinxed this year. This is the
And
year,
I'm gonna knock on wood
our
just for
year,
you.
our year. I
No,
believe it. So you
no.
got Niners making the NFC or winning the NFC Championship game and making the
No,
Super Bowl. I like your picks, my guy.
no.
I ain't gonna lie. Uh, real talk. My bracket's the same. Like I
Yeah,
got,
I know. I seen that actually. I was like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, my bracket's the same. I got what's it called? I got the Cowboys beating the Green Bay. I got Detroit beating the Rams. I got the Bucks beating the Eagles. Right now, the reason why I got and then I'm gonna go, guys. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna give you guys my picks here in a minute with the point spread, the money line, and the upsets. But it's not really like a big major like wow that the Buccaneers Eagles game, especially how the Eagles are playing right now, and especially with the added pressure now that Nick Sirianni has with Bill Belichick being available and the rumors already starting to come out from I'm assuming the Eagles front office that hey, if things don't go well this first round, Sirianni's going to be
Buddy,
fired.
you're out.
You're out. And honestly, Bill Belichick with that team already has an established quarterback, has an established offense. Like, don't tell me those pieces on the offensive side of the ball for the Eagles are scrubs because they're fine. It's the defense that's let them down this year. And Bill Belichick, what is he? One of the greatest defensive minds in the game.
Agreed. Mike Vrabel would also be a great pickup.
Oh,
Just saying.
100%.
Yeah.
But we'll get into this discussion later. But Mike Vrabel's probably going to New England. I don't see them giving it to New England.
Yeah, yeah. He's got good connections.
Dude, like, yeah, no. So that Eagles Bucks game is gonna be a good game to watch, but that's one of my upset picks. I'm taking the Bucks over the Eagles there, guys. Take the points, take the money line, take whatever you want to take. But yeah, the Bucks are beating the Eagles. I hate to say it, especially because Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield, but his coaching, it's just been abysmal this year. We
Yeah.
got Detroit beating the Rams. So actually, this game is actually very interesting, and I feel bad for the Rams because Detroit is coming into the playoffs with the sense of urgency and being pissed off. If that game against the Cowboys didn't go the way that it went, and
I don't know. I still take Detroit just because of Dan Campbell and the culture they got now.
they have
So
a great culture.
I
They
think
have a
Detroit
great
would have still won that game.
but my issue is honestly the fact that that game against the Cowboys really said a lot to me about the Detroit and just the fact that how they lost the game because if that game doesn't granted Mike McCarthy with his ridiculous play calling blew that game for the Cowboys and it was much closer than it would have been and people like oh it doesn't matter there was still 20 seconds left I understand but the last
Yeah.
time we saw Dak in 20 seconds leading a game-winning drive it was the Zeke getting destroyed being the single offensive lineman that was one of them and then the other one was the year before where he let the time run out on him because he ran it up the field. So I don't care what anybody says. Detroit should have won that game against the Cowboys. And because they lost and because they were heading into the playoffs and now they know, like, they got a sense of urgency. That's the worst thing that could have happened to, that's the worst way. That's the worst thing that could have happened to the Detroit, to the Cowboys and the Rams because Detroit's coming in there with a sense of urgency and they want to see the Cowboys. They want to go back to Dallas and they want to and they're not going to let the Rams beat them. I'm sorry. Shout out to Jared Goff for getting his one up on the Rams since he's been in Detroit. And shout out to Matthew Stafford
Yeah.
going back to the city of Detroit, but
I don't know. I think honestly,
like,
thinking about it a little bit more now, I think that
it's
Rams
gonna be
Detroit game
close.
could kind of go like either way.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
a toss.
it's a toss-up game. It's a real
Yeah.
toss-up game.
Yeah.
But I started to think about it a lot more. I started to go really into it. I like Detroit. I like Detroit's chances against the Rams, at least this year. At least this year going into the playoffs, especially with the way they're going into the playoffs. It'd be one thing if they were going into the playoffs, losing to the Cowboys and like actually losing by like a touchdown or whatever. They lost because of the refs. That's why they lost. And Mike McCarthy's play calling. So they're going in, they're pissed off, motivated, and they're not going to lose the first game. They might lose the second game, but not the first.
I think you meant Dan Campbell, not Mike McCarthy.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Green Bay, it's their first time in the playoffs with Jordan Love as the quarterback, and that's a young roster. Cowboys have
Hey,
been
but hey, that roster is gonna be good in the future.
oh,
So
they're gonna be great in the future, but I'm giving
yeah,
it to the Cowboys. Cowboys are
yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah.
win. And then obviously I got the Niners beating
Niners.
Bucks, great season for Baker. Baker, you're going to get paid somewhere between 35 to 45 million a year. Congratulations to you. You are probably going to re-sign with them for a 2 to 3 year deal. Um, and you'll be the quarterback there for at least a year or two more. Congratulations to you, kind sir, but you're not going to beat the Niners, especially not in San Francisco. Um, and especially not with the offense and defense being the way that they are. I'm taking Detroit over the Cowboys because of the
Mhm.
whole incident that happened, and Detroit's going in there and they're going in there motivated to go and thrash the Cowboys. So
Mm.
it's gonna be that's gonna be a toss-up game, but I'm definitely taking Detroit. And last week I had Detroit losing, or one of my first episodes, I had Detroit losing to the Rams. I can't see that anymore happening, and it's mainly because of how the Detroit Lions are getting into the playoffs, and
They're
because
gonna play angry.
they're gonna play angry. And you know what happens after you play angry against a team that robbed you? Because they should be the number 2 seed. I don't care what anybody says. This is a game that Detroit should have had at their house, and they're going to Dallas for it. So because they're gonna go hard, go all out. And Dallas, when they play a good team, they get rocked. I don't care what anybody says, they get rocked. And when they played Detroit, they lost. My opinion, the refs gave it to them. Because out of that game, it's going to be a letdown game in the NFC Championship game. The entire city of Detroit's going to be like behind them. They're going to be so happy just because of how far they made it, that when they play us, it'll be more of a whoa kind of like moment, because
No, I think that game's still gonna be
I don't
close.
think it'll be close. I don't think
Aiden Hutchinson is good, so like
Aiden is great. Aiden is awesome.
like they got good players, good
They
DBs and
got
stuff, but
amazing
like
players,
that
but they're
team
going
is
to be
gonna be
emotional.
competitive.
Remember, after you have such an emotional game against like the division against the Cowboys, I think that's what happened to us after the Eagles. Remember, I think it was the Eagles. We thrashed the Eagles, and then we came back, and then we had the Brown. Was it the Browns or the Ravens? No, no, no. We beat the Cardinals, and then it was the Ravens. But I don't know. I just think after I think it was the Cowboys. After we beat the Cowboys, that was an emotional game. We beat the Cowboys, and we went on a 3-game losing streak. So that's the only reason why.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I guess.
so yeah, taking Niners, NFC champions, going to the Super Bowl, obviously. Let's transition to the AFC guys. AFC playoff bracket. Let's go.
Okay, I got the Bills or the Steelers just because, I mean, Bills, Josh Allen, Steelers are great, but their quarterback's going to let them down. That Bills defense is going to be good. TJ Watt's not playing either, so Bills. KC over Dolphins. I got Dolphins.
You got
Um,
Dolphins. Really?
yeah,
In sub-degree weather. Okay.
yeah, yeah. The
Okay.
only reason I got the Dolphins is because Kansas City has problems with their offense. So I feel like that's going to be a big factor. I feel like receivers are definitely going to drop balls. There's probably going to be a pick by Patrick Mahomes. So I think for the most part, I know they lost Bradley Chubb right now, right? But I think that Dolphins team can still pull out the win against KC in the negative degree weather.
You okay? So do you think that offense can put up more than 20 points? That's the only question I got.
Yes, the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In sub-zero temperatures with snow. I believe it's going to snow that day too.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, I'm not taking away
Like that. It's
anything
gonna be
away. You know what? I'll say they
okay.
may score 19.
But you think the Dolphins are going to win the game?
Dolphins are probably winning the game. I mean, Kansas City's defense is great,
Okay.
but like, Jalen Waddle, they got Tyreek, Raheem, they got some speed.
Okay. Okay.
So I,
Let's
I got
go.
Dolphins.
Who you got? Number 4 Texans versus the Cleveland Browns, number 5 seed.
I got Browns. Texans are good. I love CJ Stroud. Don't get me wrong. I love CJ Stroud. But the Browns defense is just too good, I think. Miles Garrett is a dog. Okay, they got good DBs. I think they also have a rookie DB that's been phenomenal for them. So like I think
Devin Singletary? No.
hmm?
No, he's not a rookie. He's a second year. Singletary.
I don't know if he's a rookie or not, but I know one of
He's
these
like a
DBs
second
on
year
that team
player.
is
I think he was
crazy.
drafted last year, but he's crazy. He's a great DB.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like that's why I got the Browns, just because Texans are good, but the defense in the playoffs, the intensity is different. It's gonna be CJ's first playoff game. So I mean, I'm not gonna say he's gonna play bad, but he just won't play good enough for them to win, I think. And his receivers are injured, like his, star receivers, I'd say, right? So I just don't see that team pulling off the win against the Browns because they're really good defensively. The Browns are really good defensively. Joe Flacco is going to be great this game, I think. He may throw one pick at least, but he's gonna throw at least two touchdowns for sure. And Kareem's probably gonna do something on the run too. So
Okay.
Browns.
So you got Ravens, Dolphins in the divisional round. Who you got?
I'm gonna take the Ravens. Yeah, that's kind of easy, I think. Ravens is self-explanatory. Defense has been historically great. Flashbacks to not Ray Lewis, but that defense kind of.
They've been great.
Rokon Smith and what's his name? Oh my gosh, it's going out of my head right now. But that linebacker duo was
Oh,
good.
Miles Garrett? Oh, wait, no,
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 Rokon
no.
Smith and
Roquan Smith.
um I forget the other linebacker, but you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. It's skipping my
It,
mind.
the duo is great. It has to be, I think in my opinion, I might be a little biased, but Fred and Dre Greenlaw, to me are the best,
Let's do it.
linebacker duo.
I know. Yeah, I
I might
understand.
be biased, but
It's
if
biased.
I had to choose another duo, I'm gonna choose the Ravens, linebackers, because they're great. They're like the life of that defense. They're phenomenal at taking the ball away. They got the triple crown for sacks, interceptions, and I think touchdowns. I think.
All right, yeah, that's a
Um,
great defense, and and
so
that
that's a good defense, yeah. And then Lamar's been playing great. I know Mark Andrews isn't playing, but they got Dalvin Cook too. Big signing for them, I think. Dalvin Cook, wasn't really producing with the Jets, so I think the Ravens, signing him was huge, and he'll produce for them in the playoffs. So I got the Ravens for sure.
all
And
right.
then the Bills
Browns.
or
What's your
Browns, right. Bills and Browns, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I got the Bills here. Um, you know what? No, let me switch it up. Let me switch it up. I got the Browns here. I'm gonna
got
go
the
for the Browns.
Browns? Okay.
I'm gonna go for the Browns here, the underdogs, okay? I got the Browns for the sole reason that I don't trust Josh Allen, especially when he's up against a good defense. I feel like he's gonna turn the ball over a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And that in the playoffs kills you. Turnovers kill you. So I got the Browns winning this game. I know Joe Flacco turns the ball over a little bit too.
A lot. A
Yeah, 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 yeah.
lot.
But I think I got more trust in Joe than Josh, even though Josh is a lot more mobile.
Yo, I
Yeah,
hear you, bro.
he may prove me wrong. I'm not gonna lie. The Josh
I,
Allen might pull out like 5 touchdowns in the game. I don't know, but I doubt it against the Browns.
yeah,
But
no, I agree, bro. Yeah, you just don't know what to expect from Josh Allen, especially in the playoffs.
mm,
It's like there was one year he was crazy, and then after that, like, granted, his numbers are still historically high, but like we've seen the games, ladies and gentlemen. Like he hasn't been the same guy he was during that one playoff run that helped his numbers get to where they are right now.
yeah,
But you got the Ravens and Browns in the AFC Championship game. That was my pick. That was my bracket last week. All right. So who you got? Ravens, Browns, my guy.
no, I got the Ravens. I think it's gonna be a Ravens Super Bowl Ravens Niners Super Bowl rematch. So I got the Ravens in this one. I think Ravens are just the better team. Yeah,
Okay.
just simple as that. Yeah, and then Ravens Niners. We'll see where that one takes us one day.
All all right. Well, actually, who's your who? So who do you got winning the Super Bowl? I'm assuming it's the Niners because we're both Niner fans. So
Look,
be honest, or
if if
actually, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? That's who's your
if
Super Bowl pick as of
if
right now?
if the Ravens would have lost to us when they played us, I would have said the Ravens.
Oh, really?
But since we lost to the Ravens, I'm gonna say the Niners
Okay.
for the
Okay.
sole reason that,
Second
we're gonna play with
round.
more intensity. We're gonna play, a lot, I think a lot smarter. We're gonna play with like, okay, these guys whooped our ass, these guys beat us. We gotta show some pride. So,
Hey,
Fred gonna go out there, get us a pick.
you know that I believe our kryptonite is a mobile, agile, moving quarterback. That's
I
our
know,
kryptonite. I
I know.
I
But you know
said
who's
about
gonna show
Kyler.
up for us? Nick Bosa and Fred Warner gonna whoop that ass, okay? Trust me.
Hey, no,
I
Dre
I
Greenlaw need
believe.
to help whoop that ass. Shoot.
No, 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 no. See, we'll be good. We'll be good. I'm telling you. Hold on. Fred Warner reminds me of this guy, okay? Okay, hold on.
Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, who he brings. Oh, yep.
Did I?
Willis, I see it. I see
Did
it. I
I?
see it. That
That's who it reminds me of. Okay.
that great. I know what you're talking about. Hey, you see, there was a highlight video. I think it was last week where he was. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago, where I guess they were against. I forget who they played. I think it was Washington, and Fred came in from like the other side of the field and fucking speared the dude fucking in the air. I don't know if you saw that. That was fucking.
I think that was last year, but it was against the Rams. He had a play
Man,
where he just flew. Yeah, I think it was against the Rams. Maybe you're talking about one this year that happened,
I
but
don't
I
know.
saw one
But
last year that
Fred,
he
bro,
just
that dude's consistently fucking great.
I
Fred,
think he's look, I think he's fallen. He's like had a little like setback this year in tackling because he's missed a ton of tackles. Like when you watch the game, he runs too fast and he just misses the guy or something like that. But
yeah,
like, he's gonna show up in the playoffs. I think he'll get it down. So
who
I think
knows?
we'll be good. Ward has been playing great. So who yeah, well deserved Pro Bowler this year. So
Yeah, no,
yeah.
Travis Ward, fuck yeah. All right, so let me give you my AFC Championship bracket. Let's see, where I'm taking the Bills over the Steelers by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Bills gonna whoop that ass. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I love Mike Tomlin. I love that Steelers culture, the mantra that they have over there. But TJ Watt's out. Josh gonna be cooking. I'm taking Kansas over the Dolphins. Main reason why I'm taking the Chiefs over the Dolphins is because of the fact that I don't believe in Tua in cold weather. I believe more in the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and I believe the Kansas City Chiefs, especially with home field advantage at Arrowhead, because we know Arrowhead gets loud. That it's going to be hard for Tua to hear. Plus, it's also going to be hard for Tua to see over that defensive line. And the corners, I'm like we can't act like Chiefs corners are scrubs. Willie Snead, he's Willie Snead and Trent McDuffie, both of them great. Or wait, no, not Willie Snead. Is it Willie Snead? I think it's Willie
I
Snead.
don't think it's Willie Snead. I think Willie Snead is a receiver, is he not?
No, let me check real
Or
quick.
maybe I'm talking about a different like
There's a
Snead.
different Snead. Snead in Kansas City. Oh, Legarius Snead. My bad.
Yeah, I
Legarius.
think Willie Seed was the
Willie
receiver.
Snead was our receiver on the Niners. I'm sorry. I get the Sneads confused. But Legarius Snead and Trent McDuffie are both fucking great. I don't care what anybody says. They are great cornerbacks. That defensive line is great, and then Tua's gonna have issues communicating with his offense.
I think, no, I think Mike McDaniel's gonna play call
I don't think so. I'm sorry.
very well.
No.
He's a
See
baby
it last
Kyle.
week. We didn't see it last week against the Bills when they had to win. Come on. No.
He's a
I'm
baby
sorry. And
Kyle.
they were in Miami. And they were in Miami. No. Kansas City is gonna go to the Dolphins. They're gonna whoop that ass, or they're gonna host the Dolphins. They're gonna whoop that ass and send them home. Uh Patrick Mahomes is historically great, and so is Andy Reid. They're not gonna lose wild card weekend. Historically great,
I don't know.
historically greats do not lose during wild card weekend. They don't.
Only time will tell this Sunday
I'm just saying. I'm
or
taking
this
Texans.
Saturday,
So
whatever
listen to
you
this.
say.
I am taking the Texans over the Browns because um that Texans team,
I
uh,
don't think you're accounting for the injuries offensively that they have.
I don't care. The reason why
CJ Stroud is good, but he's,
CJ Stroud is
he
great,
has
but you
limits.
know what I looked at?
He has limits.
So with CJ Stroud not playing, the Davis Mills only had 165 passing yards. Joe Flacco threw 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I think the Texans defense is going to step up after giving up 36 points. They're gonna
Mm,
step up. I believe they're gonna step up. They have a great linebacker in
no.
Will Anderson. They have a great cornerback in Singletary. Or not Singletary.
You know what I was gonna say? I think
Stingley.
D'Amico.
Stingley, my bad. Stingley's a great cornerback, not
Oh,
Singletary.
Derek Stingley. Yeah.
Derek Stingley's a
I
great.
was gonna say though, I think D'Amico is just,
Miko's a great defensive mind. He had a bad
but
week.
no, I just think he's great at finding linebackers. Like
Well, he was a
he's
phenomenal
just
linebacker.
phenomenal at developing them. Like, have
Yeah.
you seen an interview he did with Fred did or something like that, where he said like a huge part of his development was like D'Amico really instilling that leadership or that confidence in him to go out there and like just be a dog. Like D'Amico is just phenomenal. I think developing just talent like linebackers.
100%. Honestly, like considering that Joe threw 2 picks the last game, they only lost by 2 touchdowns. I honestly think CJ Stroud is good enough to make up that difference, especially if the defense steps up. Because come on,
If the
Davis Mills,
Texans defense
bro,
can take a, but that Browns defense
Davis
is
Mills, bro.
better.
They used Davis Mills and they got through. They got through. I think it was 2 picks. They let up 3 touchdowns. They still can't let Joe Flacco go for 3 touchdowns. They have tape on Joe Flacco against them now. So that's part of the reason why. Like now that they have tape against Joe Flacco against them, and Joe Flacco, one thing's for sure, he's consistently throwing interceptions, and in the playoffs, that comes back and it bites you. It really does. Moving on to Ravens Texans, I'm taking the Ravens. Texans are just going to be so happy that they got their first playoff win under CJ Stroud. That's going to be a little bit of an emotional letdown. And I also think Lamar Jackson being the more experienced quarterback, having the more experienced head coach, having the more experienced players.
Well, he's not really the more experienced,
More
technically.
everything.
Maybe in games played, but
And
winning
bro,
games, he hasn't,
when you're a unanimous, gonna be a 2-time unanimous MVP like Lamar
But I'm
Jackson,
saying like,
bro,
experience in
it's no
terms of
competition.
winning
I
games,
don't
like he's
care.
not
Yes, he
that
is. Oh, are
experienced.
you kidding me? He
You
wins like
know?
75% of his games.
I'm saying in the playoffs.
Bro, that doesn't, oh my God.
How does that not matter?
Again, it
That
doesn't
matters.
matter because you're going up against a lesser experienced quarterback in the playoffs. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Ravens are gonna whoop that Texans ass, and I'm picking, and I had the Browns against the Ravens in the AFC Championship game,
I do too.
but I changed
But
it.
with the
I
Browns,
changed
my
it.
bad.
I changed it. I changed it with the Rave. I had the Browns in the Super Bowl. Okay,
No, that's too much.
I had him in the Super Bowl, but I had to change it because of the fact that the Ravens actually, not the Ravens, the Texans are just going to the playoffs in a much better position, in my personal opinion, especially because Denzel Ward just got hurt and messed up his knee, and we don't even know if he's going to play this weekend. Moving on to the Bills versus the Chiefs, I'm taking the Bills, and again, this is going to be a game that the Bills show up, turn out. It's going to be an emotional game because it's going to be in Buffalo, and the Bills, because they have never been able to overcome the Chiefs when it matters in the playoffs, are going to finally be able to do it in the divisional round this year when Kansas City is reeling. And I believe the Bills are going to finally make the AFC Championship game and beat their vaunted rival, the Chiefs, only to lose to the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC Championship game. Emotional letdown. Josh Allen is finally gonna become Josh Allen again, especially or not become Josh Allen again. Josh Allen is gonna show who he really is with the turnovers, with the mistakes, when he gets pressured, and that's gonna happen with that Baltimore Ravens defense. So I am taking the Baltimore Ravens to become AFC champions, and I am taking the Niners to beat Baltimore in the rematch. Because I think our team is still traumatized from the way that they recently lost, and hopefully we get better offensive line play, and we just pound the ball from the beginning to end. Because when we pound the ball in important games, we win. When we go away from that, even if we're down by a touchdown or maybe two, we lose. One thing I can always guarantee on is like our run game wearing down a defense and then opening up the pass game. But when we try to do the reverse, it never works. It just doesn't work for our offense, at least with Kyle Shanahan. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
That's our NFL playoff bracket, guys. I hope you enjoyed this.
1, 2, 3.
Please click on the subscribe button so you get notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.